America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I'm going to be walking you through Free Speech Friday. Free Speech Friday is a theme that we do here on WRMN and a political talk show specifically, where it's kind of a grab bag. It's kind of a let's discuss about the week's topics. It's been such a busy week, especially with a new president. And again, we wish him well and America well, because what else would you do? I don't understand anybody who would do anything else. Why would you wish for the pilot to crash into the plane, or crash into the mountain rather? So we're going to talk a little bit today about the executive orders that have come in. When a new administration comes in, you get new orders, you get new policies, new management, right? The old boss may say, oh yeah, it's okay to, I don't know, do this in the break room, or on Fridays we're allowed to do this, or what have you. And then when they usher on to something different and are replaced with a new manager, maybe they say, well, the thing that you did on Fridays, I'd rather you do them on Tuesdays because that's better for my schedule as a manager. Or, yeah, the break room used to be able to do that, but we've got to do this and this because of these other policies I've got. So it's understandable to come in with executive orders. Like, everybody treats an executive order as if it's just like, oh my God, why would they change the entire world? Like, it's, yes, there are executive orders that repeal other executive orders, or change another thing over here. But if it was that important, it would either be challenged in court, which we'll see with some of these executive orders here, or you didn't find it a priority to put into law to begin with. And so when we walk through some of these executive orders today, which is what we're going to do today on Free Speech Friday, my name is Dennis Sonar Green. I will be moderating, or at least walking through some of these. Dean Delaley is going to be on with me before the hour's over. He just got off a fantastic interview. If you missed any of WRMN's programming throughout the day, or maybe something that you missed last week, or there's, oh, I got to get out of the car now, but I can't listen to it. Where can I listen to it again? YouTube is probably the best place for that. You can see the day's stream that's there. And anything that's important, that's an interview or a message or a PSA or a small business or something that we find should be pulled out, that one will actually be pulled out as its own video. But you can always, like this stream right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually take what you're seeing right now and walk backwards. Just scrub it backwards. And if you scrub it that way, you'll go all the way back to Marky B. So you'll be able to see the entirety of the day right here in this video. So if you do ever miss anything, you can always go there and look at it. Easiest way to do that, of course, is YouTube. Go ahead and search WRMN Radio, or go to WRMN1410.com. So let's talk a little bit about executive orders or executive actions or these different things. Obviously, there's memos. You can send out a memo, hey, I like these things, like that thing. There are presidential memos that do go out. And then there's executive orders that have a little bit more teeth to them. And a lot of times, executive orders are meant to say, this is what I will enforce versus this is what my focus is versus this is where I plan on putting maybe some of the spending that I have control over as president. I'm speaking as president. But we get into this web of back and forth because the populace does not like anybody. It's if you see this back and forth and you're like, why can't we get a consecutive president, whether it's Trump or whether it's Biden or whomever? Why can't we get this consecutive side? And even then, if we have time, we'll talk about the third term that was brought up as well. But it's because we can't get the populace to like whoever's in charge. Doesn't matter who's in charge, they're going to vote them out. And I think a lot of that is because there's this anti-incumbent movement, which we haven't realized should be an anti-establishment movement. And we'll get there. The general populace, the zeitgeist of the world, will figure out that that's what it is the establishment. And the more that the establishment does things like they're doing now, the faster we all come to that conscious agreement. So today we're going to talk about some of these executive orders that have come down. Some have already been challenged. Some have already been kind of repealed or overturned or whatever you want to call them. And let's talk about a little bit about the Constitution itself. And we'll go through that today through our Free Speech Friday. Like I said, we'll have Dean DeLaley on. He had a few thoughts about some of these things that we're going over here and wanted a place to express it. That's what a political talk show is for. If you are kind of tired of like, man, I wish people would stop telling me I can't say things at Thanksgiving or every time I start talking about this issue over here, people get too cringe, or I know a little bit more about this subject than my peers and I don't really have anybody to have a sounding board off of. That's what a political talk show was built for, so that we can do that. Have that place that, okay, if you do say something ridiculous, we might laugh at you just a little bit, but more in jest of like, okay, well, we can't all have steak and ice cream on Fridays. That just is not economically feasible to do that for every American. So there may be times of that, but for the most part, this is, for lack of a better term, a safe space for the politically minded. And I think that's what we're starting to lose out there in the world, is that free speech side. Now, you've got people that claim it. You've got people that say, oh, no, the free speech platform, this is it. This is the way to go. I want to tell you the original free speech platform is right here. AM radio, calling in to a political show in the afternoon or as you're driving home or something like that. It's the age-old American tradition of yelling at your radio about Congress. This is where a political talk show comes in. So I got to take a quick break. I want to let everybody know some of the things that we are going to be talking about, or at least things that are on my hit list. We've got the executive order number 1, the initial recensions of harmful executive orders and actions. This was the one that repealed the other ones, the other ones that Biden had put in. We've also got Executive Order 2, and these are all listed based off of the ones that President Trump wrote. Executive Order number 2, restoring the freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. This is talking about free speech in federal agencies. Order number 6, withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization. We're going to talk about order number 12, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. That's going to be talking about the 14th Amendment and also the case in, I believe it's Washington. I'll have to look it up while we're sitting here on the break. But that's one that we went over yesterday with Elliot and Ben. And then we've also got Executive Order number 13, which will end up being the securing our borders. And that is paired with a national emergency. So a few things here or there that we're going to be discussing. So without further ado, I'm going to take that quick break, and then we'll be right back after this.
If your idea of therapy involves a fishing rod, a tree stand, or a campfire, then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John Cruz speaks your language, whether it's about the best lures, tracking game, or that one buddy who always forgets to bring the beer. John's got the tips to sharpen your aim, the hacks to pack lighter, and the stories to keep you entertained. Again, that's American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz. Saturdays at 7 a.m. on WRMN 1410. Or stream it at WRMN1410.com. Get ready to outfish, outhunt, and outcamp them all on American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz.
Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community.
It's always exciting to hear Elgin business owners like Tanner Melvin of Side Street Studios share positivity about the local community.
Elgin is on its way, and it has been, and it's sometimes, we got set back, the pandemic, and it's been rough. Everyone has felt it, and in so many different ways. What we're trying to do is a lot of hand-holding and shoulder rubbing and being like, it's okay, it's okay. We're trying to get this town a lot more money. We're very lucky to live in this community right now. There's nothing like this around here.
Feel the positive power of the first shift with me, Marky B, weekday mornings on WRMN.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's what's going on. Hey, I found the problem there, Dean. This button's getting a little sticky there. Yeah, that's there. That's okay. That's what's happening. It was that sticky button. That's okay. Now that we know the problem, we can solve it. It's hard to pick the answer out of a hat if you don't know that the question was 2 + 2. So once you know the problems, you can get them over. Joining me now here in Studio 14 in downtown Elgin, in the heart of the Fox River Valley, is, of course, our fearless leader. That would be Dino Delaley. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Well, thanks for letting me sit in. I feel like I've been here all day.
We have.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
And of course, we've got the amazing Cecilia Brooks, who is running for city council as well, right?
I am.
Wonderful. What's your website? Obviously, Dean Delaley's is WRMN1410.com, the best website in the world. But
As it should be.
The second best website, please.
It's believeinbrooks.com.
Oh, that's good. Was it your campaign manager that helped you out with that one?
Yes, I actually have the best campaign manager. She is me. And I am
Exactly.
her.
Nice going. So Brooks is BROOKS, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you both for being here. Like I said in the opening, this is what we do here on Apolitical Talk Show is we give everybody that chance to sit at a Thanksgiving table that you can actually discuss politics at. Like, there's so many times where you cannot have that discussion because so many people want to either bury their heads in the sand or we've all seen it, the literal cover your ears, la, 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 I can't hear you. Those are people that all sit at the kids' table. You can discuss politics
We're
at the
at the big
adults'
kids' table
right?
tonight.
Yeah, we're at the
Hey, I
big
like
kids'
that.
table.
Look at us.
I love
So-
it, huh?
Moving up in the world.
Okay.
I know it's out of season to make Thanksgiving references, but there's a lot of that. Do you ever find that in just every day that sometimes you would like to say something that's political, but you hold back?
You got to answer me that question? Yeah, well, I better go. Cecilia, you answer. You know me.
There's a time and a place, but I definitely am known for saying the quiet part out loud, and that is something that I'm very proud of. But I also just keep humans being humans.
Tactfully in like conversation, like of course you can't just be like the whole well thanks Obama, like you can't just default to the negative or whatever else, but are there certain
So
times
why are you making
where,
Obama a negative, though?
Exactly. Well, some people do that.
Oh.
Some people. I'm quoting some people.
Oh,
some very fine people.
And you did a
sometimes
good
that
job
say
at that, by
Thank
the
you.
way, in keeping with the complimentary.
Yeah. Today is Compliment Day. by
Oh,
the
know
way.
that.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
National
okay.
Compliment Day.
How you like that?
So
I love
And you
that.
look extremely well, as always.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank
you look
you.
very nice. And Dennis.
I feel underdressed.
Oh, sonar. Oh my gosh, no, I was going to say the hat is iconic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If I saw you
working
without
on
a hat,
style.
you're not him.
Is that what they call it?
Exactly.
So all this is a style.
I told you.
Okay.
I told you. It's
I
homeless,
gotta get that
homeless
book.
chic.
Yeah.
Is homeless
Yeah.
chic. It's,
Okay, we'll take it.
You throw chic in there, I'm on board.
I
But-
look like Shrek for that matter, but go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
No,
I'll
you're
tell you that
classy
jacket
chic.
was earlier. There you go. And I keep raving about that tie.
Thank you.
Can
Can I tell you about the tie real
a little
fast?
bit?
That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a great
yeah.
tie.
This tie is a bunch of radios on it. If you can't really see it, but that's okay.
I love that.
It's cool, and love is the key word because there's a little tie bar here, and it says, I love you, Dad. My daughter got me the tie and the tie bar.
That's
is that amazing?
beautiful. That,
Yeah.
She seems really
So
sweet.
they all are. I got the best kids in the world.
That is amazing.
I got the best ones. But yeah, isn't that something?
I love it.
So I wear that with a lot of pride.
Yeah,
That makes me happy.
I like that. I like
Yeah, of
the
course.
pattern where it's kind of like it's not just one giant radio. It's a bunch of little ones. It kind of makes a little pattern. It's nice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to get me one now. I'm gonna have to find out where she's got it.
I always love to see how gentlemen dress up when
Mm.
it's their time. So it's nice to see. With women, it's just our dresses, our heels, our bags. But
Mm.
nice spin on it, Dean.
There's a lot of ways that women could accessorize. Men have few things.
Yeah.
What can we do? You know, I used to wear cufflinks a lot. You know, I try to wear a pocket square that matches my tie. I do different things that I can, but very little. You know, I always wear proud to have my pin on me, whatever I'm representing. But yeah, that's all.
I don't know. You can pull off a strap backless.
You think so?
Pretty well. Yeah, I think so. You got the shoulders for it.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about a little bit here is new management, right? When new management comes in at any time, it's the okay, they let you do this over here. Now I need you to do it over here. Or look, I don't like it here, so you're not going to do it, but I like this, this, and this. So any new management is coming in. Are we feeling that growing pain right now, just in the overall executive order type of situation? Are we feeling new management at this point?
You first.
I feel like, I don't want to say nothing's changed, but I feel like towards the end of our last presidency that we were experiencing with the previous administration, I hate to say that I don't think that they were necessarily as present as maybe all of Americans had hoped. And I think that seeing the new Trump administration coming in for 47, I'm excited and hopeful to see a lot of good things, but I definitely think we need to get past the hurdle of the transition period. And I think just we had a lot of absence and now we have a lot of presence. And I think that that's what is night and day to a lot of Americans.
Dean, go ahead.
Well, my take on it is this. I'm not saying that President Biden slept at the wheel at the back half of his term, but toward the back half of his term, he was pretty absent.
Yeah.
And he allowed now President Trump to make a lot of ways, so to speak, whether it be phone conversations, whether it be just relationships with the people that he once had, and now he knew he was going to work with again. So, he was able to get into a more accelerated position, my take, at a much quicker time. You're addressing all these executive orders, I believe. So was it timely? Was it proper? Was it right? Well, he did nothing more than, in my opinion, what he told everybody he was going to do.
Yeah.
And because he had that jump start, because I think the past administration just kind of said, what are we going to do?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
think Biden,
and I'm not,
President
believe
Biden
me,
took his hand off the wheel.
And I'm not
Definitely.
saying, I'm not trying to be negative against, and I'm not for or against either, in my thing. I do like to see that he held to his word. Some of these executive orders I'd have never done. I got to say the truth. But some I understand and I respect. And I also understand he wants to hold to his word. He wants to be the man of his word. I think some people are being maybe a little overzealous on, he's doing this, he's doing. Let him have his first week, And I understand too, you can't let him get too far away because there still has to be that check and balance. And if he is doing something, and I don't know what they are right now, I haven't dove in enough, but if he's doing something that is that outlandish and detrimental to our country, someone needs to step in.
Exactly.
I get that.
And I think that's what's happened with this Republican, I think Reagan appointed judge that said in the last 40 years of me being a judge, this is the most ridiculous thing and unconstitutional thing I've seen.
Now, which one you talking about?
About the 14th Amendment, the ending birthright citizenship.
Birthright, okay.
Which, again, you're testing the fence, right? And that's what Trump does. He tests the boundary, and if the guardrail holds, then it was meant to be. If anybody's going to stress test our system, it's going to be our newest president.
Sure.
And for the better or for the worse, maybe it needs to be stress test.
I got to tell you, these career politicians that we have had on the Republican side.
More after this.
Oh.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Progressive. 5 renowned Broadway performers are set to grace the stage at Wentz Concert Hall in Naperville for the Illinois Conservatory for the Arts Fundraiser on February 21st. Highlighting the evening will be a performance by Miles Frost, celebrated for his 2022 Tony Award win in MJ the Musical. The RJM Group in Naperville is set to host a comprehensive self-defense seminar. It's scheduled for February 1st at the Benet Academy in Lisle. The 2-hour session, running from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m., will cover situational awareness techniques and basic self-defense skills at a cost of $40. Elgin's art scene is in the spotlight tonight with the Nancy Kimball Cobblestone House hosting the opening reception of Capturing the Moment, a vibrant oil painting exhibition by local artist Nick Freeman from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The exhibit features works from Freeman's 6 decades as an artist. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Anywhere else, Tuesday is just, Tuesday. But if you're at KFC, Tuesday is $10 Tuesday, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Let me say that again. 8 pieces of hot, juicy original recipe chicken, hand-breaded in 11 herbs and spices. All for just $10 every Tuesday. Only at KFC. Guess Tuesday isn't just Tuesday anymore. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At School of Rock, we've got something for everyone. We're located at 353 South Randall Road in Elgin, Illinois. For teens 12 to 18, our performance program prepares students for live shows at real rock venues. For ages 8 to 12, Rock 101 helps young musicians start their journey with private lessons and group rehearsals. Our rookies aged 6 to 7 explore instruments through fun games, while Little Wing, ages 4 to 5, introduces preschoolers to the basics of rock and roll music. And for adults 18 plus, we've got an exciting adult performance program for all skill levels. From beginners to experienced musicians. Visit the website at elgin.schoolofrock.com to sign up for a free trial. We start pre-enrollments in January, targeting a mid-February open. Unleash your inner rock star. Join us at School of Rock and let's make some noise.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high near 21. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, showers between 7 p.m. and midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 16, rising to 18 overnight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high near 35. Currently, it is 19 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. It's the bottom of the hour. It's time to come back to a political talk show. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I'm going to reset the board here. I've got my two friends sitting in with me at the big kids table. Here is Dean DeLaley and Cecilia Brooks. Let me go ahead and pull that up. There it is.
Here we are. We're back. How are you?
Long time no see, everyone.
Been a while, yeah.
So let's go a little bit into really, I think, is the hot button issue with it. Now, we can go into later on. I think that there's more time. We'll get into the equal employment opportunity policy and a couple other things. But I think the one that is the biggest one is the constitutional one that's sitting here. And that's setting for overall, it's Executive Order 14156. And it is titled Ending Birthright Citizenship for Certain Nationalized Citizens. And then the other one is, we'll find my stuff here. And that would be the other one for the 14th Amendment that they put on the website, which would be upholding the, I think it is the meaning of American citizens is the other one that's sitting there. At the end of the day, what it boils down into is if you do not have 2 citizen parents and you are born here in the United States, you are not a citizen, is really the pipeline of the entire thing. So what I'm going to jump into is some of the ending of the birthright citizen stuff, where it says in the 14th Amendment, these are the words of it. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Proponents argue that the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof excludes certain individuals, while opponents assert that the Supreme Court has already decided on this in United States versus Wong Kim Ark in 1898, which affirms birthright citizenship regardless of parental citizenship. Legal experts widely expect the order to just get shot down, which there's already one judge that has, and Donald Trump has, or President Trump has already vowed to, I guess, appeal it or fight it or whatever else that he does nowadays. First off, I want to get your thoughts on this executive order, Cecilia, because you would be affected by this. If this decision, not in now, but if this decision was the way that the 14th Amendment was presented as the 14th Amendment, you would have been affected by this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I take great pride in being a first-generation American citizen, and I am very proud of that. And I was born to 2 immigrant parents. I'm Israeli and Mexican. And my birth father was actually, I am a citizen in the United States of America because of birthright citizenship. And I always speak about how the American dream is alive and well, and I am living proof of it. So this is a huge, to me personally, a slap in the face. But on top of it, it's also directly and more importantly, unconstitutional. You cannot just say, well, we're going to write away this 14th Amendment in our United States Constitution because, with the stroke of a pen, because of my executive order. That doesn't sit right with me. It is wrong morally, and it is unconstitutional. And I personally think that we need to be very careful with what we're doing because, I mean, just on a logical and logistical standpoint, this affects, just people who are born to our service members, active duty on military bases, our Samoan Islands, Guam as well, and also people that we know every day. So I think for me, just hearing this rhetoric, this unconstitutional rhetoric, and then hearing it spread and slandered, especially from the Republican Party, like get those illegals, things like that, that's showing a ton of hatred. And that hits me personally, and especially as someone who is here as a citizen because of birthright citizenship, because of our 14th Amendment, and as someone who is literally, my birth father was deported by ICE. So this is a very personal issue to me. And I understand the legalities, but again, we need immigration reform, not just close our borders, and deport everyone who doesn't belong here. That is not the rhetoric that I am on board
Exactly. Depending on what the piece of paper in the world says, the person still exists. And that's where I think we're seeing this disconnection is, well, the piece of paper says you shouldn't exist. Well, I'm here. I don't care if I am an illegal person or maybe I prefer to be called by a different gender.
It's almost like you're given a driver's license. You didn't go through the red light. You didn't speed. You didn't get in an accident. But I'm taking your license away.
Yeah.
I'm revoking your license. You're a citizen. And that's been, remember we were talking off here, in the 60s it was revisited again, upheld. It's been upheld since the 1800s.
Yeah.
So, you brought up about his quick actions and stuff like that, executive orders. He's going to push it because, hey, if I can get this, if I got everybody listening and they're sleeping at the wheel, hey, we got another one under our belt. I don't know why he would want to attack those folks that are citizens, you know, the birthright. I don't get that. Now, I will tell you, like we talked about the tent camp with the people that are on private property that don't belong there, illegal people don't belong here unless you go through the proper process. And we talked about that as well.
Correct.
If you're illegal, you're illegal. You don't belong here. Now, there's a path to America. You know, my grandparents, because I'm second, third generation Italian American. American, I'm American. Let's just face it. And you're American.
Exactly.
Forget about all the
and
other
we're
stuff.
proud.
And absolutely, we're all Americans. Because once you have that paper that says this is what we are, now we have authenticity and we have rituals and culture that we guard, protect, and honor and respect and try to carry on. But we're Americans. And we need to all act like Americans, my view. But you see, that's what has to happen with all of this. But if there is a path, there are people, so many people that I know that are came to the country, they got their proper visas, you know what I mean, or MasterCard, but they got their visas, and they did it the right way. So now you got these people that flooded in, and they're getting to the head of the line. It's not right.
No, you're absolutely right.
So that's my only,
It is a
that's my
different
position
path.
on that. I don't think that, you know, it's ridiculous that it should even be, that the order was even written. But you know what? He's getting a lot of people to talk about it. And, you know, sometimes too, you know, politics and when you're in big business, you put the stink over on something else and everybody's so worried about this birthright thing. What's going on in the other order?
Exactly. Well, the
You know what I
magician,
mean?
right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, pay no, Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Right, now we should maybe ask more questions.
You know what I mean?
So let's take it from one perspective of the class system. Right now, there should be only two types of people in America. There is citizens of America or people who are citizens of another country.
Okay.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's turn around and say a person was born here and the country it was this person was born in doesn't recognize them as a citizen. So now I've got three different types of people. I've got people who are citizens of America, people who are citizens of another country, and people who have no citizenry at all. We immediately are birthing refugees. People that cannot get license, people that cannot hold jobs, people that cannot get WIC, cannot get any of the other things that you as a citizen or even you as a immigrant, you can't get anything now. So now these people that don't exist on paper, what do we do with these? That's what I mean is what is the vision here? What is the mechanism that they're trying to accomplish with this? That's my question with it. If you want to have a strong argument with, look, this is what we've got to do. We got to have strong borders. We've got to do whatever. But to not recognize the existence of a literal person, I think there's no logic to anything like that. Forget what you're rarely going to hear me say this. Forget what the Constitution says. Let's just talk about people that have no country. So you're going to turn around and immediately default to, okay, where were the parents from? Well, the parents were from two different places. Or we don't know. Those people exist. What do we do? What's the end goal with this?
What about orphans?
And I'm just trying I'm not asking you to defend it in no way because it's indefensible, honestly.
Right.
My question is what is the purpose of this? Is it to scare? Is it to feed into? Is it a distraction politics? What is the purpose of this here?
A terrible idea.
Okay, maybe it's just a bad idea and nobody loud enough in the orbit said it was a bad idea.
I genuinely don't know. I have tried to look at it from different standpoints. I've tried to look at it from a legal standpoint, it has no standing there. I've tried to look at it from a logical or a logistical standpoint. Again, what to your point, there's no solution. So I have trouble getting on board with this just because understanding that it wasn't necessarily a problem. Like I personally did. I was all in favor of the 14th Amendment, and to my understanding, most Americans didn't really care in favor or against the 14th Amendment prior to this executive order.
Is it
so
more
it
of
wasn't a huge thing.
Is it more of a detergent? Is that what's going on? Because everybody talks about anchor babies, right? And I apologize if
no, it's okay.
if
I
it's
promise.
derogatory towards you, but a lot of people talk about those, about the anchor babies. They come in, they oh, and now everybody's a citizen because you threw one citizen into the ground. That's the only thing I can think about here, is the deterring of somebody coming over here and say, well, now you don't even come over here because your child will be a unexistent person, an unrecognized person, I guess is rather what I would end up calling somebody like that. And so that's my question. I hate to bring down the tone a little bit.
No, you're
there,
not bringing
Dean,
nothing down. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm just going to tell you, you're almost making it more complex than it is. And I get the complexity. I really do. But just keeping it real, keeping it simple, keeping it where it is. Why are we having this executive order?
Yeah.
That's more the question. And I get it. Is it for those reasons you're speaking of? I don't think anybody gave it that much thought.
But if I keep it simple, Dean, the easiest, simple Occam's razor of this entire thing is it's racist.
Okay, I did think about that, and I'm like the last person who thinks like, "Oh, this is racist." Like, I literally don't walk out and think, "Oh, this is right." Like, no, that thought did occur.
And that's the only. I am trying to not pull the R word and come up with another issue. But if you want to pull Occam's razor and hold me to it, the simplest explanation. That's the only thing I can think of. Is so many people here in the United States did not like the anchor baby type of thing, and to get votes, and like you said, to keep the promise. This is what the executive order fulfills. Now, he may have turned around and know, yeah, it's a bold-faced whatever, it's going to get shot down, but at least I fulfilled my promise to the racists.
Was that one of his running points?
No.
He would do, yeah.
Well,
This particular thing, no, but
that's what
he
I'm saying.
had ran on anchor babies.
I get that.
And this is essentially solves that
So that's
issue.
why I'm confused. Back to the same thing. Why would this? You know me. I'm not a skeptic, but I do got an investigative background. And the first thing I'm going to think of is you're trying to get me off the stink over here, and you want to make me,
Exactly. And I don't want to pull the R word. You want to turn around and take the
I'd hate like
and
heck
take
to
the
think
thing.
that that's what it is.
Exactly. We
I
got
mean,
a caller
I
coming
know.
in right
Good.
now. Maybe somebody can shine a light a little
I
bit.
hate to say it. I really hate to say it. But,
Right? I'm in the same boat you are.
Like, I've never felt the way that I have been the past few days.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Welcome aboard. What would you like to talk about?
Hi, Dennis. It's Trusty Pat calling in.
Hey, Trusty
Dennis,
Pat.
I think you hit on it. Is a deterrent, and one particular case. My son lived in California for about 30 months in Pasadena area, and he got questioned the fact that this Chinese couple had these $150,000 vehicles, and all of a sudden the sheriff's department was there, and they were gone, hauled off, and they thought they were bringing in money illegally to the United States, and they were going to have an anchor baby. It's exactly what it was going to be. And so it kind of went through the neighborhood. That's what they were trying to do. They weren't going to live in the United States at all. They were just going to have an anchor baby. And I think.
So what do they benefit by that?
Well, there are certain programs, of course, that you get to support citizens now. WIC and everything else immediately kicks over.
Okay.
That's at least something that's there. Social Security numbers and everything else, those are going on the black market type of side. So there's a few different things of where it is there. It is some sort of a market towards it, but to blow up an entire constitutional amendment. Go
Like,
ahead, Susie.
some people. I have heard this before, that it's the theory that some people come to America illegally to have a baby, and then that's it. Knowing this birth rate citizenship thing, I would tell you the percentage of people that probably do that and most likely do it are very, very slim.
Would this be
Also-
the same percentage of people that if this was a torrent, that people would turn around and say, well, I got to flee anyway. I don't care.
Yes.
What's going to
It wouldn't
happen,
really,
right?
yeah, it wouldn't
And-
really change. And also, the child is the only one that gets the citizenship. The parents can still.
Trustee Pat, are we swapping one problem for another? If this was the hold up, are we swapping one problem for another?
It's a good point, Dad. I don't know if I got the answer to that question.
Okay.
I just thought you hit it on a deterrent, and I for certain never been a Trump lover, but there's a couple points that he's done that I have liked, but yet this one I question my own mind. But anyway, that's where I'll draw. I'll just say I'm kind of on the fence. So
Yeah.
anyway,
We'll see what happens,
discussion.
right?
I think it's all healthy. Yeah, I think it's all healthy discussion, though, and I'm glad that this is one of the few radio stations that we could do this in, and I like our local radio. So thank you two guys. Thank you, Dino and Dennis,
Thank you, sir.
for having this on the radio. So
No, anytime,
take care,
Pat.
buddies.
You're welcome to come in as well.
Love to have you in the studio.
Yeah, if you want to come on a Free Speech Friday, you're welcome to.
Please come, Pat.
All right.
We'll talk.
Thank you all. I'm driving. I appreciate high school basketball. I'm driving to a high school basketball game up in Richmond, by the way, to do a varsity game. So anyway, this is kind of good listening music. And I've said this, and that Marky B has coined this too. That this is great comfort radio. It's better than listening to all the sports crud that's the same stuff, shift after shift after shift. And but I have to say, I do like hearing all I can hear about our new football coach. So anyway.
There it is. Hey, 10-2, Trustee Pat. You drive safe out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Drive safely. Go Chiefs.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm still missing something then. So then you're saying that there's these people, because they're not parents, because they're just dumping a baby. So they want to make a baby for nefarious reasons, you're saying? Have the baby, now they got a social security number. They don't care what they're doing to that kid. They're going to do whatever they can do and then move. So that's what you're saying.
Yeah, there are some people, because of our immigration
I must have been
system
under
right
a
now.
rock because this
It's
is like
it
the
never
first.
happens.
Who would do
Like
this?
literally,
Who would
it
do
does
this?
not happen.
Well, there's other things that are going on too. Is
Right.
because my brother-in-law is here illegally.
Illegally or
illegally?
Okay.
Yeah, and the only way for him to be here legally, because he's been here so long, he works, he has children, like married to my sister, everything, is for him to go back to Mexico, stay there for a number of years, then apply to come back. So I agree with you about how people should take the roads that are there. But I think what Cecilia's point is our roads and pathways to get here is terrible.
They're not even paved.
So look at it this way. We could not stop the use of marijuana in the United States. The war on drugs is continuing to fail. So what did we do?
Jumped right in it.
We changed the rules to where we benefited from something that was happening. Do you want to benefit from a person that wants to be here in the United States? Make them a citizen and tax them, you idiot.
Well, their position is on the illegal that are getting jobs and using phony social securities. Government's winning anyhow because they're getting the taxes.
Yep.
They're getting the work at a cheaper rate.
And they get
Illegals
something.
pay taxes.
Correct. Of course they do.
Yes.
Because I'm the business owner. I say, well, hey, look, this is what they showed me. What do you want from me? Match the picture. All the numbers looked right. All I did was wrote down what they gave me. So they cleaned their conscience.
Yep.
They know they're illegal. And they're doing those jobs that, again, sadly, regular people don't want to do it. That's a shame that we have to make that a regular person wouldn't do that job. There should be no job. I'm different.
And
Like
so
when I had
now-
my restaurant, I did everything. I washed dishes.
And this is the
Yeah,
problem.
there's nothing I wouldn't do. I'm proud of
It's
working
not
hard.
beneath me. I've cleaned bathrooms. I've washed floors. As a fireman, I used to wash the floor all the time. Regular duties.
Of course,
my
you
own
would do
floor.
it, but now because
do it as
you're
a
a
job.
citizen, I have to pay you $7.25.
Huh?
I can't get away with only paying you $4 anymore.
Well, you shouldn't.
Sure, but now I'm going to completely wipe the entire market, and now nobody gets paid less than $7.25. And now you've got the entire market going up with inflation as well. So, I mean, it is tricky to do these things. You cannot just blanketly do stuff.
But that's what they've been doing, even with this minimum wage thing. And I don't,
Oh my gosh.
I don't have all the facts on it to talk maybe even properly on it. But when you're trying to give $15 and $20 an hour to McDonald's and Wendy's, and then other jobs aren't even coming close to that, makes no sense.
But that's the industry.
I get it, but it still makes no sense to me. Those McDonald's jobs, and again, we're back to that generational changes. Those were your entry jobs. Not that whoever's working at McDonald's right now, I am not criticizing, or wherever you're working, I am not criticizing you. I applaud you for taking a job. Let's face it. But those jobs are not made to sustain a family on, because they never paid the right amount of money. So how can you?
But that was an understanding, right? And then we move
you would
up
think
and
it
work
was,
in the world.
but it's not no more. Now it's okay. They have a right for all these extra dollars, and they have this minimum wage thing. Right for this, right?
No
for
matter
that.
what job I do, 40 hours a week, do I deserve to afford everything that I do, regardless of the job? $40 hours a week. Do I deserve to make a living wage, regardless of what the job is? I spent 40 hours a week. You're saying that there are jobs that if you do for 40 hours a week, do not deserve to have a living wage.
I think if I made friendship bracelets for 40 hours a week, I don't think I deserve. I don't think deserve. If I sat and made friendship bracelets for 40 hours a week. Although seriously, if somebody wants to pay me my salary now,
if you're employed and are being sold, that's the job.
Right.
You deserve
That is my job. Yes.
Okay, so now you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
You can get paid whatever you want to.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
But if she's working for
I'm saying if you're working for somebody, doing anything 40 hours a week.
No, just no.
No, you don't. I don't say you deserve it.
Right. It's not just a one tie, all tie. You have to take things individual. You got 10 employees. One guy's acting like a jerk. Do you have a meeting with the 10 of them and say, effective this day, we're going to do this? No. You talk to the one moron that's not doing it the right way, and you say, stop it. Right?
Right.
Well, this is the same thing here. You have to. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to identify the problem and correct it.
There it is. Hey, more apolitical talk show coming up after the top of the hour news. It's getting spicy in here, and it's not because the temperature outside is jumping too. We'll be right back.
A loved one owns a gun, and for a while now, you've been concerned about their behavior. They're just not acting like themselves. They've been distant. They've been unpredictable. They've been lashing out. They've been saying things that make you worried they might harm themselves or friends or family. Or you're worried this loved one might hurt you. Maybe they recently threatened someone with their gun. You know something needs to be done, and you wish more than anything you could hit pause on this situation. Well, here in Illinois, you can, with a firearm restraining order. In extreme cases, this order temporarily prevents a person in crisis from having a firearm, giving them time to heal before they do something dangerous or even deadly. If you are worried about a loved one in crisis who has access to a firearm, learn more about firearm restraining orders at illinois.gov/pause to heal. A public service announcement brought to you by the Illinois Department of Public Health, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. President Trump on Thursday signed a number of executive orders, including one that will release any remaining government files on the assassinations of former President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert F. Kennedy, and civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. News Nation's Kelly Meyer with more on what's in that order.
15 days from today, his teams will present a plan for full disclosure of these records to the plan will be presented to President Trump to decide when to release that in full, the full and complete disclosure of those records. That's for JFK Jr. Then it'll be 45 days from today for RFK as well as MLK. So they're going to present a plan to the president, and then they will decide on releasing those records in full.
Thousands of previously classified documents from the government's review of the JFK assassination have previously been released to the public. However, more files remain under wraps, including files on Jeffrey Epstein, who died in 2017 under DOJ custody. Yesterday, President Trump also took questions in the Oval Office from reporters and was asked whether a recently announced IA joint venture would lead to Americans losing their jobs.
It's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other things. It's going to have a huge positive impact.
The joint venture with OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, called Stargate, will build large-scale AI data centers in the United States. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening 100 years ago today. Raw oysters ban is kept on. Thorough and airtight regulations on the sale of raw oysters in Elgin will be initiated Thursday by Dr. A.L. Mann, city physician, and George Reeves, city health officer, it was announced today. Sale of raw oysters, unless the purchaser signs a certificate that the seafood will not be eaten or served without being cooked, is banned on and after Thursday. This is in compliance with the ruling made recently by Dr. Isaac D. Rollins, head of the State Health Department. Careful and frequent inspections of all dealers in oysters and all restaurants in Elgin will be made, and severe penalties will be urged for violators. Epidemics of typhoid fever have been broken out this winter in several parts of the state, especially in the larger cities. Most of the epidemics have been traced directly to raw oysters, according to Dr. Mann. In moving picture news, the Rialto Theater inaugurates its policy of deluxe stage presentations with the personal appearance of 3 Indian chiefs, along with its feature presentation, Showdown at Diablo.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high near 21. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, showers between 7 p.m. and midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 16, rising to 18 overnight. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high near 35. Currently, it is 19 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Tune in to Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN. Join Eric and his expert guests for a fun and informative journey into the home improvement and healthy living lifestyle. Whether you're tackling a DIY project or thinking about your home's wellness, we've got you covered. Say goodbye to stress and hello to solutions that save you time and money. Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast to Coast right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. Welcome to a political talk show here on WRMN, hour number 2. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. I got a lot of people in line. We must have struck a nerve here on Free Speech Friday, which I love because this is your political sandbox. Come and make castles and tear them down with me. Some of the people that are sitting in here with me are some of the people I love hanging out with on Fridays. And of course, that's Dean DeLaley and Cecilia Brooks. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for having us.
Dean, you wanted to present something over there on your,
you know,
you headed out of here?
One of the things I'm going to try and put on the camera, if you could see it, what does that say?
That says, I was live in Studio 14 here on WRMN.
So Studio 14, what is that? That's 14 Douglas Avenue, and that's here in downtown Elgin. We have been encouraging everybody to be a part of this station. We want you to be a part of this station. We want you to come in and complain about me. I don't care what you come in here for. Come here and talk nice things. That would be a nice change. But, you know, we'd love to have you in here. You want to talk politics? Here, this is the time to talk politics. You want to go out to lunch? You see Matt talk about the neat things going around here? Do it. You want to have fun in the morning and get your eye opener? That's Marky B. You know, Fridays are a good show, 2 to 4. But, you know, you got Tammy and friends. You know, we got 3 women that have great conversations. We are trying to give you a whole host of, you know, real programming that comes from this location. And what is that location? Studio 14. So, as a way to encourage people, we'd like to give this to you. I can put it on you. Is it okay?
Thank you. Yes, please.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You are getting our first
Oh
button,
my gosh.
I think, on the air. And we have buttons for anybody who wants to come in.
Thank
Anybody
you
who wants to.
very
Thank
much.
you for being here.
Thank
We
you for
appreciate your
having me.
contributions. Mr. Tees, you have a button coming, sir. Great contributor. We have great people over here coming in here. Your views are welcome. We don't care what your views are. They're your views. And we're here to talk about them. We're here to let other people chime in. But please, be a part of our show. Be a part of our listenership. Be a part of in-studio guests. And you're going to get one of those cool little buttons. How's that sound?
Well, good faith, putting the American people ahead, like that's the whole point of this community, Fox River Valley, and we want to highlight the people that come in here. So come on in, be a part of the show. We're going to continue our show here, and that was great, Dean. Thank you very much.
Please,
for,
that was
for doing
amazing.
that.
And yes, please, if you are watching or listening, I would love to see your face. I would love to see your smiling face. And when you see me around downtown, you will see me wearing this pin. So when you see me, come say hi if I don't say hi
Everyone's
to you
going to
first.
be jealous that doesn't happen. I'm going to listen to your calls. I'll stick around.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So I'm going to, what we're going to pull together is a couple of people that are here. We're going to bring in on Mr. Tees for everything, but I'm going to pull in somebody who's waiting online this time here, and that would be Mr. Priggy. Thank you very much, John, for being here with us. How are you today, sir?
Pretty darn good, I must say, and I'm enjoying the conversation and the back and forth and the what if scenario. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good evening,
I
Mr.
wanted to
Priggy.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
All right, just doing great. Hey, let me throw something out.
Go
I've
ahead.
been toying around with this for years. Let's say there is a child born to an illegal alien, for lack of a better term, just something that can be immediately identified. What if we say the child is a U.S. citizen, but mom and or dad, you're here illegally. You have to go back, and you can bring the baby with. And then when that baby turns 18, the baby can come back as a citizen. And mom and dad, if you want to come back, you have to do it right. And we have to expedite people that want to be citizens. And I'm even at the point of saying, look, I don't think it's that important to quiz somebody and take a major league test that 8th graders have to take, and they have a fresher mind generally. I like to prioritize the parents coming back to return. And you probably are going to ask, well, who's going to take care of the baby? Maybe there's a relative here.
So you're saying the baby stays here, the parents go back, and they have their path in because of their baby that's here. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they need to find one in.
Oh, okay.
They need to. They can come back.
So we have to make a better path.
We have to. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I got you.
One of the things I thought was, we should expedite people coming back if their skill, their trade can be beneficial to our country. And I pictured myself asking somebody who wants to come into this country, asking them, why do you want to come here? What is your trade? What are you doing as a means of income? And someone may say, I'm a plumber here in Ireland, and I want to be a plumber in this country. And then pull up on a computer where in this country we need plumbers. It can be Wheeling, West Virginia. It can be Miami. It can be Bismarck, North Dakota. And say, if you go there and show proof that you're working and serving that city, we'll give you a couple years to be here. And if you're still here, you're automatically a citizen.
I don't know, John. That sounds an awful lot alike, each according to their ability. That sounds a lot like that communist talk over there. Everybody, according to their ability, should be going places and helping the America here. So, no, I think it's a great idea. And it's also something that President Trump has actually talked about on interviews before. So when he was asked about deportation, and Christian Welker and a couple of these other people use it as a gotcha, where they say, well, if somebody's here, you're just going to deport the entire family? And he's like, yeah. If nobody's here to take care of the child, then yeah, American citizens, sure, but we're going to ensure that that child stays with the parents. And now what you're going to end up with is, okay, at what age, maybe you do it according to the state of emancipation to say, okay, well, my child's 16, and according to this new law, we all have to go back now, but they can be emancipated. So I'm sure there's other laws that are in there, but Donald Trump actually said this. I think it was with Christian Welker, where she was trying to use it as a gotcha of like, well, you're just going to do all these mass deportations of mixed families of that. And he's like, look, if they want to stay together, they stay together, but we got to get the people that aren't here out.
Well, I think John made a good point where, okay, we have the natural born here. They're a citizen. They're 12 months old. And now the parents get pinched because they don't belong here. So now here's the question to them. Do you want to take the baby? You're free to take the baby, and the baby is still a citizen, but it'll be a citizen in wherever country you're from. And then, try and find your way back, I guess. Or they could let the baby stay here.
Is that what you're saying, John?
Yeah, if it's not with family members, I hate to use the words foster care.
Well, unfortunately, that's what would end up happening.
Well, Cecilia.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a product of that.
I was
bad word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hi, Mr. Priggy. So I was born to one legal immigrant parent and one illegal immigrant parent, and my birth father was an illegal immigrant, was deported. Should he have been here legally? Yes, but again, I'm all in agreements with you as far as the road to get here needs to be paved, and a little differently. And then I was adopted at birth. So I didn't personally go into foster care. I was adopted directly into birth, but it is something that happens. And to my understanding, the ICE or Borders are Tom Homan. It is to my understanding that right now, that is actually the choice that has been given to these illegal aliens, is that if you have a baby here, you can either choose to leave your baby here and they are a citizen and you can leave, or you can all leave with your baby. But either way, the baby gets to stay.
And President Trump, even in that interview, brought it up and said, well, then you're just going to yell at me for separating families.
Right.
And
But,
he's like,
But that's the parents that's
exactly. They chose to come here.
Yeah.
They knew that there would be repercussions for their actions, and they still chose to
We're
take those
holding
actions.
good on the 14th
Exactly.
Amendment by
Because
letting
they're
the
still-
right.
yeah.
And I get that.
We don't owe them anything further.
No,
I agree with
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's us.
Thank you, John, and thanks for the kind words. Even though I know it's Compliment Day, and that's why you did it. But it's National Compliment Day, and so I appreciate you doing that. Where can people read what you write on the world and your thoughts out there?
Go to Facebook and put in John Prigge, former Elgin City Councilman.
Perfect. Well, I'm definitely going to head that direction over there because I want to hear what you think about some of these executive orders over here, buddy.
Yeah, it's.
Can we post questions on there as well?
Are you going to swear? You already.
No. Have you ever, John, I got the worst mouth out of this whole crew. Have you ever heard me swear on the air?
I just did 16. What? Let me check my clock here. 2 minutes and 45 seconds ago.
What did I say?
I'm kidding you.
Oh.
I'm kidding you.
Okay. I said, oh my God, I'm slipping.
Exactly.
You son of a. Well, since I got one, I may as well go for two.
Exactly. In for a pound.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, good. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And like I said before, I have never listened to WRMN as much as I have in the last, since.
Nope. I just lost him.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
He is
You know
really
what? We're
building
getting a great
suspense.
compliment and you hang up.
Oh,
on
you
it.
just went away. I'm
for
sorry.
Christ.
buddy.
I'm gonna
Just
get a-
building suspense.
Gonna have to get
That
a
was
new board operator.
Oh my goodness! Call back, Prigge. I want to hear those nice words. Man, it just dropped right off. Hello, Mr. Tease.
Hey, David.
How are you, sir?
David.
How you guys doing?
Hey, thank you very much for coming in here and being on some of the panels that we've got. I want to hear a little bit about your thoughts with this 14th Amendment side of it. You and I think kind of played around with it last week a little bit, but I think this it's already written. It's galvanized. It's in the works. It's on the playing field. Whatever idiom that you want to use. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it was brought up on a show a while ago. Elliot brought it up that 100 years ago, people were coming into this country in groves. Okay, but what we got to understand from then to today, then these people were coming here to escape communism, persecution. They wanted a better life. They wanted freedom, and they got on boats with the clothes they can grab, what they can grab, their families, without families. They came to America on boats. We let them in. Yeah, there was open borders back then, okay? And they came here and they got jobs. They were given Social Security numbers, which was kind of like, it was kind of like your identification, okay, to get a job. And what did they do? They went out and got jobs, and they built America. They built skyscrapers. They built factories. They worked in the factories. They got a house. They lived the American dream. They came here on their own for a better life. Now, that being said, look what they did. They built our country. They stood next to us from Italy, from Ireland, from Japan, from Tokyo, everywhere across the world. And what do we have today? We have a great America. So immigrants did stand next to natural-born American citizens and built this country. They fought in wars with us. They protected their country. They lived the American dream. Now, today, we're dealing with a different totally scenario. Our borders were closed, I believe, after we were attacked by Japan. We have to secure our borders. We have to protect ourselves. So that's why we have laws and borders.
You're talking post-World War era time, right?
Yeah.
Post-war era is what you're talking now.
And, But now what we're having today in this society, and all of a sudden, a few years ago, they said, hey, come to this country. We're going to give you prepaid debit cards. We're going to give you free housing, free health care, free education, cell phones, a driver's license. It was, and you're going to live off of taxpayers. You don't have to worry about helping build America or working hard next to the people and just making this place a better place. They came here and lived off the system. That's what they were invited for. Compared to 100 years ago, these people came here for a better life and helped us create the country we live in today. So that's, to me, you're comparing apples to oranges. These people were invited, and yes, a lot of countries said, "Oh, let's just get rid of our prison, our murderers and our convicts and all that stuff." And people came here, and then they had children here. And yeah, as to your point, I like some of the ideas that John has said and what you guys have been talking about natural citizenship and the Cecilia story. This is a really, really tough road to go down as to how to handle this. And it's I don't know. I mean, I like the idea. Yeah, they can come back, but when you bring a child into a situation that they have no control over, and then expect to stay here because I have a child here, it's not right for the child. You know what I mean?
No, it's very true. I see a lot of your points in that, but I see a lot of the struggle and the fortitude and honestly some of the love of America that those earlier pre-revolution or not pre-revolution, pre-Civil War era that you're talking about, 1800s immigration type of side, you can see that correlation in today's immigrants as well. The other side that you're seeing too is the second class side of things. Yes, even though these people came over in the 1800s and helped us build the railroads and build the nation that's here, they were still treated as second class citizens. They were still treated on those ways. So I think the real issue we run into here is that there are a separate class of people. I think, honestly, that's the real hurdle we're running into. And as long as there's going to be a second class of people, there's going to be a second class of regulations for those people. Now, whether that person has it for the better or for the worse, Visa cards for one side, terrible toiling in the mines for the other, either way, there are two classes of people. And so I would like one class of people, and it would be Americans. And then we figure it out from there. But I think, honestly, the only reason that they have the opportunity to exploit the system is because the system exists. If you make them citizens, they're back to the same system that all the rest of us have to do with.
Yeah, right. But let's just turn into one thing. I mean, yeah, they were from other countries. But sure. Throw something just at you really quickly. We also treated our own natural-born U.S. citizens as second-class people. Women weren't allowed to vote. Would that be considered them being treated as second-class people, even though they were born in the United States? And look at Martin Luther King, what he fought for. That happened to our own people in our own country, where there was segregation and stuff like that.
So you agree with me, immigrants shouldn't be second-class citizens, and we should just blanket pardon them and throw them all as citizen ticket right now, right?
Oh, yeah, we would love to do that.
Well, if we can blanket pardon people, we can blanket citizen people, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know what? I don't have a problem with what's going on right now. But bottom line is, if we can't go into another country and do what they're doing to our country, I mean, so this is why there's law. Laws were written for a reason. Like, you can't drive drunk, you can't break into somebody's house. Okay, you can't
private property,
any type of crime.
But
stand your ground.
But these are not God's laws. These are our laws. And before a certain year, it was illegal to smoke marijuana in Illinois. And it was illegal then. And then we said, well, you know what? It's really hard to track with the laws that we have in place. We're wasting a lot of money for whatever we're doing over here. Why don't we just make it to take the social hint and change our laws? See, this is the issue: is if I can continue to campaign on it for decade after decade after decade, why change the law?
Yeah, but you're talking the marijuana thing. The marijuana thing is very difficult. That's a show. That's 5 shows to talk about why did they make it illegal in the beginning, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and now it's okay. I get all of that.
I've just spent an hour and a half talking about immigration.
Right.
So
Let's take that 5 shows, please.
So you're saying that if something went on to a great extent, okay, we legalize it. Well, they're smashing and grabbing storefronts. So are you saying then we're going to allow thefts eventually?
No.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So you're saying that these are laws that we've man-made and governed and developed.
Exactly.
You have to have benchmarks and guidelines if you want multiple people to live in a society.
Absolutely.
Free society, America.
But here's the thing. Theft is property theft. I can physically take your guy and do this. When you say it's illegal for you to be here, that's a whole nother thing. That is you can't exist where I want you to be here in this world. So why don't we turn around and say, you know what? You can't exist here because you do exist here.
So with the amount of people that have come across the borders, and we know that there's quite a mixture.
Oh, millions.
And we know that there is also some people that, again, nefarious intentions.
You cannot have no criminals.
So to do your thing then is to just, okay, everybody's like the pardons and all the executive orders. So we're going to executive order everybody, whoever's here right now, we'll close the doors from today.
No, absolutely.
But that's what you're saying, though.
No, but that's the other
I know you were
extreme.
being funny on it.
But that's the other extreme.
Right, so you can't. And again, we're back to the same thing. You've got 10 employees.
So what does the road look like?
And one's bad, you have to counsel the one.
Right, not either all of them get fired or all of them, So
what does the road look like, Cecilia?
I think it's a multifaceted issue. I think to understand how we got here, I think we need to look at where we've been. And I think that as far as the multifaceted portion goes, I think the Biden administration is to blame for the massive influx of legal immigrants.
Absolutely.
1,000%. I think without
I don't think many would argue that.
No, I don't think so.
I think without a secure, actual, physical southern border, and I don't mean, again, close the borders. I mean a physical border and the encouragement, like Mr. Tease is saying, with free visas, free everything. Yes, that was a terrible, terrible decision. And now we are facing the repercussions and paying the price of the Biden administration's poor leadership. And now the Trump administration is having to deal with that. And are they handling it, in my opinion, well? No, they are not. But now it's like we have this massive mess and a little mop to kind of clean up. And I think that that's making this extremely difficult.
And Dennis said something too. We invite, in the 1800s, you're talking. So we invite people in, the Asian Americans. Help build the railroad. They're very instrumental, I believe.
Absolutely.
Am I right on my history?
The Irish that came over, the Italians that came over.
But the Asians were big on. We're really big on the railroad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's what we do. Now we go to war. We invite them in, pay them substandard. We're treat them as that second class you're speaking of. So now here's what we do. Now the Japanese, of course, Pearl Harbor. We all know what happened. So now we get those internment camps or however you say that word.
Yeah.
And now we're putting the people that we invited here, their ancestors. Now we're locking them up in a camp just because they're Japanese.
It's like having people always ready to have people on a back burner.
And some of them were veterans. That were in those camps.
And that didn't matter. And they were all that went out the window.
Because you were Asian, you were Japanese, you're going to that camp. How heinous is that?
It's awful.
So we've done a lot of bad things.
Absolutely.
You go to the segregation that you're speaking of.
Jim Crow.
Take it all. All of it was injustices against humanity.
Which is why you cannot have
but it's not
two types of people.
No.
You have to usher them into one solid group, building the funnels that you can, the way that you want to see this group shaped. And I think people want to see the American citizen shaped a different way. And that, I think, is the core point for that. Absolutely. Hang on, Tease. We're going to take you on the bottom of the air.
You're going to probably.
Thanks, buddy.
We miss you already.
We'll keep you.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Progressive. Elgin's art scene is in the spotlight tonight with the Nancy Kimball Cobblestone House hosting the opening reception of Capturing the Moment, a vibrant oil painting exhibition by local artist Nick Freeman from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The exhibit features works from Freeman's 6 decades as an artist. 5 renowned Broadway performers are set to grace the stage at Wentz Concert Hall in Naperville for the Illinois Conservatory for the Arts Fundraiser on February 21st. Highlighting the evening will be a performance by Miles Frost, celebrated for his 2022 Tony Award win in MJ the Musical. The RJM Group in Naperville is set to host a comprehensive self-defense seminar. It's scheduled for February 1st at the Benet Academy in Lisle. The 2-hour session, running from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m., will cover situational awareness techniques and basic self-defense skills at a cost of $40. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Anywhere else, Tuesday is just, well, Tuesday. But if you're at KFC, Tuesday is $10 Tuesday, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Let me say that again. 8 pieces of hot, juicy, original recipe chicken, hand-breaded in 11 herbs and spices. All for just $10 every Tuesday. Only at KFC. Guess Tuesday isn't just Tuesday anymore. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, showers between 7 p.m. and midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 16, rising to about 18 overnight. Gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high near 35. Currently, it is 16 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show. We left you on a cliffhanger with our friend David Tease. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to A Political Talk Show on WRMN. My name is Dennis Onar Green. I am joined with Dean DeLaley, Cecilia Brooks, and the amazing goal, David Tease. Thank you very much for being here, sir. You wanted to throw in a point before we went to a hard break there. Go ahead and continue your thoughts, sir.
Well, I'm not against people coming into our country legally, okay? And don't get me wrong, come here for the freedom, come here for a job and a better life. But with the deportation is going on, how about this for a great classic idea? And how about, if you leave amusement park, you got to get something out of your car, they give you a hand stamp, you get to come in, okay? Well, yeah, let's get rid of the criminals. I mean, the people that really shouldn't belong here. But the people that we deport that came across the border illegally, why don't we give them a certificate, a piece of paper that says first in line, go out the door and get back in the line. And then Trump takes, instead of eliminating all those IRS jobs that they don't need or government jobs, why don't we focus them into border jobs where people actually start doing the paperwork. We got more people working on the border. We got more people taking the applications, giving them a visa, saying, "Hey, here's your certificate. First in line. You get to have top priority to come back into this country, and we'll do it at a fast, rapid pace, not a snail pace, by having enough people to process the paperwork, and then turn around and say, we'll give you the visa, and you come here 3 years." Get a job, pay your taxes, don't commit crimes, raise your family, and live the American dream. And I think that is an excellent idea. It's not showing that we're being mean or evil. Get out of our country. We don't want you here. We want you here, but let's do it the right way. You know, let's follow the law.
And I get it. And that's the thing is first off, we got to create the right way. I don't think the way that you become an immigrant right now is the right way. I think this, or becoming a citizen rather, other than birth, naturalization as a citizen. If you don't come from a specific country and have a specific amount of money, you might as well kiss your chances goodbye. But I think to both you, David, and to Mr. Priggy's side of it too, is that's what we did for that other round of immigrants as well. It was send them to the railroad, or it was send them south into the war, to the Civil War, or it was okay, well, you're going to be so there. At a certain point, there is kind of a soft job core that we kind of funneled immigrants into when there was a giant surge. I mean, when the Irish were coming over, it was the Civil War at that point, and they were literally coming off the boats in New York and getting on another boat to go south.
Right.
And so that may be the side, but here's the thing: in this era of individuality and free liberty and everything else, is it ethical for me to tell somebody, you know what, you want to be a citizen? We're sending you to Ukraine instead of this bomb, or instead of our own troops. We're sending you, just like they did in the Civil War. Or, nope, you're going to go die under a shovel building the railroads. So is this what we're supposed to do, or are we supposed to give them the nice fluffy jobs of admin and so that I see it, but I do understand your thought process with it. Do you see anything like this, Cecilia, or see at least maybe the Job Corps aspect of it? Or honestly, my biggest question for this, and I kind of want to get to it, is what is the path? What is a paved road to citizenship look like, if it's not the 14th Amendment?
So I would say that it absolutely is the 14th Amendment. We have our constitutional rights and liberties.
Oh, dang, I'm already born, so can't do that again. Well, depends on who you ask.
Right, unless you're Elon Musk. No, so I think that we definitely need to keep the 14th Amendment. I believe that that's going to get upheld in the Supreme Court as it was back in 1898. And I also think that we're going to see that happen. On top of that, I definitely think that we need immigration reform. I think that we so desperately need to make the path not even necessarily easier, but more streamlined, more efficient.
What does that look like? It's not a test. We don't want people to take an 8th grade test. We don't want people to like.
Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I have to say, I do think it is important and very critical for us and any American citizen or someone who wishes to become one, that we understand the history of our country and how we got to where we are, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it.
But and let me just, if I can interrupt you.
Please.
We are erasing so much of our history. So by erasing the history and not giving true history, are we going to be making a bigger mistake? I get what you're saying.
Right.
And I think that, yes, if we could get someone to give a true history, the good and the bad. So we've got some black eyes, our country, but that's okay. We did the best we could at the time. We tried, as long as that's really their heart.
Right.
So then I think if you can get that to where it's, okay, this is what we've done, segregate, put it all in there. I don't care.
So-
Women couldn't vote. Women couldn't smoke. Come on. How nonsense was that?
So know about our country, at least a basic level. What
That's
would you
right.
say? 8th grade, 4th grade? What
Okay.
would you say? Somewhere in there?
Sure.
I would say
know the three
at least
branches.
8th grade.
Eighth grade,
cool.
Three branches. General history.
Very important
Reading,
about
reading
the
level for
Fact
average
history.
American, I think, is around ninth or 10th, somewhere around there is average American. So 8th grade, cool. Okay.
Yes, at least some type of English.
T
It doesn't
says they have to work, but you also say English on
Yes,
that
and
one.
it
I
doesn't
agree
have
with
to
you
be-
on that
Are
one.
you saying work or contribute?
Have
There's a
work.
big difference.
Oh, okay. Go what you got.
Yeah,
I'm with contribute.
Yeah, you need to. And John Prigge was bringing something up that was pretty good, but it shouldn't stop you because, we don't need no plumbers right now. You're a plumber, no, you can't come here.
How long
only
should
make
they?
friendship
How long
bracelets,
should they
not worth
prove?
it.
How long should they prove contribution? A year? 2 years of contributing?
3 years.
3 years of contribution.
I would
says Mr.
say
Tees?
3 years. I would say 3 years sounds like a good. I think that's
So
reasonable.
a
I think that's
3-year
fair.
temporary visa after you pass the test.
Pass the test.
To have a competent person now. Now I've got a competent person that spent 3 years doing everything.
Law-abiding citizen, right? You did this the
Law-abiding
right way. You
citizen.
haven't gone out, robbed a bank, robbed a store.
Anything else, or is that it? Right? That
No,
sounds
I
like
really
a good
think that's
citizen to
it.
me.
I really think that's it.
Bingo, bango, we're running for president. That's it. All done. But that's something that we have to come to a point where we can all agree on something.
Secure our southern border
I know there's
and
some
make that the
cabinet
process.
positions that are going to be open because there's no way they're picking everybody.
Well, I heard if you aren't even an American citizen, you could rise all the way up and have your very own office in the White House.
That's crazy.
Even to the point where if you skip your own work visas and publicly say that you skipped out on your own work visas, you still can have an office in the White House. Dream big. Dream big, everybody.
I think that's wrong, but I do dream big.
That's there. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about something we talked about earlier today, and that was the flyover camera. I'm going to show Cecilia a picture, and she is going to find Dennis Sonar Green.
Oh gosh, I'm already blind as it is.
I was on WGN this morning. WGN this morning came over to Creekside Elementary School, and I was able to wave and hang out with them. It was a fun time. They sent the helicopter. Can you find me?
Yeah, she fingered
Can
you.
you find me there?
Bottom left on top of the day in Friday.
That's it. That's us right there, waving right away.
That is awesome. Hey.
No, it's fun stuff. So go ahead and check out the WGN flyover.
How cool.
Absolutely cool.
Right?
Absolutely cool. Because we're branching out to a few different other places. We're trying to do that contribution, do some more contributing. Elliot currently, right now, is on CPT.
Get out of here.
Yeah, right now he's on CPT.
Let's
right
call
now.
him.
The other day we called him on that. I'm not sure he got in trouble or did get in trouble, but they didn't ask me to call again. So I don't know if maybe we did get in trouble over there.
CPT, I have a word with you.
We're going to have Neil Federino from WBBM coming to talk on. Federino, sorry. I always mess up his name. Neil Palatano is a rough one for me too. So Mike and Derek have a great show on Saturdays. Let's see here. What else is going on? Marky B was on television.
How you like that?
That's amazing. So always moving up and moving out.
Marky B on the big screen.
Right? I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to reset the board again. I've got a few other callers coming in. David, I think we're going to keep you around for a little bit too, so just stand by for a second, buddy.
I'll listen. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. Stand by, everybody. We'll be back right after these very importante messages.
Are you 18 to 24 looking for a hands-on job leading to a career? Have you considered manufacturing? BCS, Business and Career Services, can help. The Manufacturing Careers Internship Program helps you gain work experience while earning money. You will obtain OSHA safety and forklift certifications. At BCS, there's also job placement and retention support. All services are free. BCS has locations in Cook and Kane County. Find out more today at bcsillinois.org or call 224-545-0765. BCS, strengthening communities, building careers. Accepting applications now. 224-545-0765.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
If your restaurant's grease is causing problems, don't worry. Hopkins Grease Company is here to help. Since 1947, they've been providing reliable grease recycling, grease trap services, and more for restaurants across the Chicago suburbs. With a full fleet and expert staff, they offer quick professional service. And as a family-run business, they pride themselves on delivering personal service you can trust. Call Hopkins Grease today at 847-458-1010. That's 847-458-1010. Hopkins Grease, the Fox Valley Grease Boys.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Welcome aboard, Apolitical Talk Show. I would say toot toot, but I don't take new trains. More about the boats. Hey, really appreciate you being here with the Free Speech Friday. I want to thank my friends for joining me here today. Dean DeLaley unexpectedly stayed the whole time.
A little assumptuous.
It's such a great, it's because of the great conversations. That's the presumption right there. We've got a couple different things here that we went through, and I really appreciate you, Cecilia, when you are on with us as well. Especially with the immigration side of everything. I really appreciate your thoughts in this.
Well, Stanley, who better than someone that's been through it? I mean, we're not exploiting you in any
No,
way.
I don't feel
I
that.
hope when I say it that way, I hope you don't take it that way.
I definitely don't.
But this, again, we're back to, and this is not a paid commercial over here for WRMN. This is why we want people in our studio who have a story. You have a story, and it's a deep story, and it's a good story, and it's wholesome, it's honest, and it's true. That's what we want to be. We want to be about the truth. We want you to be able to express yourself. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you are, and I'm glad you're comfortable enough to share the story with not only us, but we've got thousands of listeners out there that are hearing all of this. So I applaud your courage.
Let's head over.
I appreciate that. Thank you both for making me feel comfortable and giving me the space where I can talk about this honestly.
No, political soundbox. That's the political sandbox. That's the way to go. Everybody's welcome to play in here. Bring your truck. Hey, Cleveland Dennis, welcome aboard, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, good. Engaging conversation. You guys covered a lot, but I have just a couple things to say, and it has to do with history or his story. Usually, whoever wins, it's his story.
Fair enough.
But, with the wars, but we're all taught about wars, but we won't go into that. But if you think about it for a moment, we were all taught the history of the wars. Now, I just want to say I want to blame the English. Anybody's English, I'm sorry, but
that's it. Pick sides right away, boy. Go ahead. Don't be bashful. Go ahead, Dennis.
No, I just want to say, because it's my story that I'm telling you. I experienced this because when I used to partner with a company, and it was a 110-year-old company back in the 90s that was the people, they were based in England, but they were out of Switzerland. But the guy that was ascending to the top spot as the managing director, he was Irish, and he had a sign in his office at the port, I forget which one there in England. We were, getting ready to do some sales, what have you, but it says, we do not hire Irish. And he's Irish. His family is from Ireland, and he immigrated to England, separate countries. He was from the Republic of Ireland. And he had that sign. And I just thought it fascinating that there it was, right out in the open.
Yeah.
And it was his story, but it was my story right now.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that too. That was another. Of one of the executive orders was to remove the equal employment opportunity protections. So that was what I. Oh yeah, you didn't know this?
No.
Yeah, on
was
the
not
same
aware
day,
of that one.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order rescinding key equal employment opportunity protections, notably revoking Executive Order 11246 that Jimmy Carter had put in, which had mandated affirmative action and prohibited employment discrimination by federal contractors. Yeah, that thing that we all thought was a law?
I remember that.
Yeah, the thing that we all thought was a law, isn't. No one codified it. They just left it sit. So here it is.
So I oppose affirmative action because it was technically it was made a thing for Caucasian women to get into college.
Well, now it's gone.
Well, right. And then I went to minorities. So anyway, I believe in merit-based, but I am also always against discrimination. So,
well, to the point that Dennis brought up with the sign, I believe you should be allowed to hire whoever you want to. But if you say I do not want to hire this type of person, you should have to put it on the front of your business.
Yeah. That's it. Own it.
Yes.
That's it. Own it.
If that's your belief and that's what you stand by, then stand by it.
I will 100%.
I had a restaurant. I had a sign. We had the right to refuse service.
There you go.
And I love the theater because you get some people that are just nasty, mean, no good people.
I just think
I don't want them.
that should be the law. I think honestly that's what it should be. It's just the expectation.
You have a right. Do it.
Is you have the right to hire whoever you want to, fire whoever you want to, but you have to write your preferences on the front of your business.
Back to your point about words. We could all say whatever words we want. And we could all be, hey, we're tough about those words. But our words have consequences. They could be hurtful sometimes. They could be positive. But there's consequences to any of those words. So if you, like you're saying, if you want to be it, but own it and display it.
That's the way. How do you feel about that, Cleveland Dennis?
That's a good point.
It gets very complicated, and I don't want to be complicated. I just called in. I made my couple of points. I'm telling you guys, I'm enjoying the program, and I kind of like everybody that's on there talking tonight. But I'm glad I could.
We like you, Cleveland.
We like you too.
Yeah, I just wanted to get my 2 cents in because it triggers thoughts in my mind of what I've experienced and seen, and I just thought I would make the comment. Thank you very kindly.
We're
Thank
glad
you,
you
Dennis.
shared.
Yeah, thanks for working out that brain muscle too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. It's all good times there, and that's what we try to do with this. We're not here to preach at you because obviously, if you preach at people, they call you bad names. Especially if you say things about, Dean, I really wish you would be more merciful. Please don't call me a bad name, but be merciful. Don't be mad at me. Why would you go to church and not expect to be preached at? First off, that was a little. I'm talking a little bit about the Washington D.C. bishop that had the conversation with President Trump, and everybody went just crazy on this woman. They turned around and said, "This vile woman said how he should be merciful to be like." How dare she teach the teachings of Jesus at her own church?
I'm just going to say, it was her house. She was the pastor.
Yeah.
It's her sermon. He walked into there freely. Didn't have to go there. And if this is her position, it's her out. Just like he could write the executive order for what he wants to do. And say.
Right.
She has the right to say what she has to say, I would think, in her church.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Like, she has gotten so much hate.
I'm sorry.
For just asking a person to be merciful.
I'm sorry you get offended. Like, right? Because I think that if we are allowing freedom of speech, President Trump has said and will say anything, and that because he has that right to. And I completely agree. I just echo Dean's sentiment is that yes, it was in her house, her place of worship for God. And he, again, went in there willingly. If he wanted someone more traditional, you should have walked into a Catholic church because we don't have female bishops.
And you know what seems to be the funniest part is he wasn't bothered by what she said.
No.
He was
right.
He
That's
was like,
the part. People are outraged for him.
But you see, he's like, I want to say like our forum here. He's like, okay, I said it. She said what she said. I accept it. I don't agree. And he said what he said. But it's like these other people.
He demanded an apology.
Yeah, well, these other people got to quit talking for him. I think that's
right.
That's
it's
one of the biggest
keyboard
problems.
Warriors, though.
Everybody wants to talk for President Trump. Let him either succeed well or bury himself on his own. Quit talking for him. He's the president of the United States. You know what I mean? Let him do his thing.
He eventually is going to cross a line. There is a civil war brewing within the Republican Party. I do not want to get too crazy into it, but Cecilia, this is our homework for this week. What is that line? What is it going to be? Where is it going to come?
David's still on the line?
David's still on. Same thing for you, David.
You still there, David?
Yes, I am. We got to get out of here. That's our homework, is what is going to be the line that the Republicans turn around and say, no, we're Republicans, not MAGA.
We're about to have the straw that broke the camel's
That's what I
back.
mean. What's that straw?
I promise you that.
We're seeing a couple straws stack up now. We'll see what's going to be the last one. So that's what I want to talk about. Man, we had a great show today. If you think we had a great show, send us a message about it.
Hey, let us know.
If you think we had a bad show, send us a message about it.
And if you come in person,
WRMN1410.com.
And if you come in person, you'll get one of those slick little buttons.
Fancy little buttons.
We owe you one, David. You got one coming, brother.
Thank you, guys. Have a
You
good night.
said you'd never buy your
You
kid
too.
candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 6 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. President Trump on Thursday signed a number of executive orders, including one that will release any remaining government files on the assassinations of former President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert F. Kennedy, and civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. News Nation's Kelly Meyer with more on what's in that order.
15 days from today, his teams will present a plan for full disclosure of these records. The plan will be presented to President Trump to decide when to release that in full, the full and complete disclosure of those records. That's for JFK Jr. Then it'll be 45 days from today for RFK as well as MLK. So they're going to present a plan to the president, and then they will decide on releasing those records in full.
Thousands of previously classified documents from the government's review of the JFK assassination have previously been released to the public. However, more files remain under wraps, including files on Jeffrey Epstein, who died in 2017 under DOJ custody. Yesterday, President Trump also took questions in the Oval Office from reporters and was asked whether a recently announced IA joint venture would lead to Americans losing their jobs.
It's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other things. It's going to have a huge positive impact.
The joint venture with OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, called Stargate, will build large-scale AI data centers in the United States. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.